How's that? It's really dark. There we go. Looks pretty good. All right. Day before Thanksgiving, at least here in the States, and welcome. Hop on if you want to put your comments, suggestions, whatever, in the chat. If you're watching this pre-recorded, whenever you have you're like, oh, I want to ask about this, just put it in the comments below. I will see all those comments, and then I will address those in future episodes so that we can answer your questions. You're like, oh, I want to ask about this, just put it in the comments below. I will see all those comments, and then I will address those in future episodes so that we can answer your questions. That should be fantastic. I'm going to keep it a little bit on the short side today. We do have limited time. So let's jump. I'm going to jump right in with our tech tip of the day, and I'm going to be addressing Bombershés, sort of the modern style. I call this the modern style Bombershés. I know there's also this guy, but we're going to be doing these. So this one is more showy, works better at a slow speed with showy, whereas the modern Bombershé is more for speed. Right there. Okay. So what are some common problems with the Bombershé? Let's talk about what I see. First of all, I see a locked straight leg on the foot doing the spank dig, right? So we get kind of this like hobble thing, and it looks awkward and it feels awkward. So what I have my students do, I basically have them do. It's not really a first, and it's not like a first position. It's not like a second. It's kind of in between. And I do a really bad demi-plie. So just bend your knees a little bit and keep your knees bent. And then I tell them you need to keep your weight in between, not have it all here, because then you're going to kind of have the limp mode, right? So I have it in the middle, and one of the ways I say they can prove it's in the middle is lift up the stepping foot. If you can be on your heel, then clearly your weight's in the middle. If your weight's here and you fall, well, clearly your weight's over there. So keep this knee slightly bent and keep your weight over the middle. Okay? So that's one of the first problems I see, the straight leg, hip lift, wobble thing. Another problem I hear is an early dig. All right. To fix that, all you need to do is bring the spank up higher before the dig. Lift down, lift down. Now I'm exaggerating a little bit, just so you see where and when the lift should happen. But if you have that early dig, because it's very likely that your dig is barely coming off the floor, and the spank's barely coming off the floor. But if you lift upward, up, and down, up, and down, that will fix that. So those are the two common problems. The straight leg, which you know is just bend your knees a little bit, keep your weight center, make sure that there is some weight on the dig foot, even though that may feel uncomfortable and awkward at first. It will take a while. I call Bombershés the most hated step in tap. It's a really, really awkward step when you first learn it. I really hated these at first. Now I'm totally fine with them, but they're just awkward at first. So that's how we fix the straight leg. We plie and keep our weight in the middle, and then that early dig, we just lift that spank higher. I wouldn't recommend traveling a ton. This is not so much a big travel step, right? It's really awkward. If you were going to travel a lot, I would do what I call a travel step, which is just step, spank, step, step, spank, step, step. I would do the spank step to the ball of the foot. So like I said, this is more for speed. You can add stamps for accents. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, there was one other thing I was going to say and I lost. All right, anyway, so those are your Bombershés and common problems and some tech tips to fix those. And I've got no one in yet, so I'm going to, actually I did, but no one's put anything in the chat. So those of you who have just joined me, feel free to put in the chat any questions, suggestions, also any individual step sounds. Because the other thing I do is I create a step I've never seen before from scratch, and I'll pick random sounds. But it's kind of fun if you guys put in what sounds you would like to see, like, okay, I want a brush or a toe or whatever. You can even put full steps. I want a shuffle, a scuff, and whatever. So I'll do that myself today. We will do a stomp, a stomp, and a flat foot slide. So we have stomp, we have flat foot, slide, and flap. Stomp, flat foot, slide, and flap. Now I'm adding a heel to the flap, but that's hard! All right, I'll break that down. So I'm doing step stomp, although it's borderline stampy because I kind of have my weight on it. Although my weight is kind of lifted and somewhat in the air, so it's like a hybrid stomp stamp. But we're going to let it slide. So step, stomp, and then this is going to slide. As this slides, I pick up my left foot, and then I come down with a flap heel, and then I'm just doing a toe. So step, stomp, slide, for a flap heel toe. And then I just go a 1 E into 2, a 1 E into 2, a 3 E into 4, a 5 into 6, I'm going to skip left foot today. We got the right. All right, welcome. We got Bailey, who says, love your work from New Zealand. Well, thank you, Bailey. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Dean, we can hear you, but can't see you. Oh, she's got me now. Or Deanne. Sorry, not Dean. Deanne. Got you now. All right, so we got video, and we got sound. Great. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, any questions, suggestions? Hey, how do you do this? Think of this. How can I do better with this? I'm teaching kids and I have a trouble with this. Put those in the chat if you would. And any other recommendations while you do that. Also, I'm going to ask, we're going to do a practice session. I'm going to keep it on the short side today. It'll be pretty short. What level practice session you would like to do? I want a beginner, I want an intermediate, I want an advanced. I'll look at all the suggestions or none of the suggestions, and then I'll adjust what I do based on what I hear back from. Well, hello, Graciela. Good to have you back. So again, if anyone wants to put in the chat their level, and then we'll, if no one does that, I'll get started. I'll probably shoot for intermediate. All right, excellent. And I'm going to be, I'm not, well, let's see. Do I want to do, I'm not going to do, I think, so much straight. I'll be doing not so much straight drills. Like I want to keep up going what I had going last time, where it was a little, things were a little bit more, were a little bit bigger and a little bit more visual. That's kind of what I was going for, versus just hard grinding on the feet. All right, so I don't know. We'll just go whatever level I feel like. Apparently, let's see. What do we have from? Let's do no rest. What do we have from no rest? Organic rhythm. We can do that one. Boom. Oh, hang on. So, also, I just want to let you know, I just filmed my intermediate advanced, or it's a little more towards the advanced end, Christmas combo to deck the halls. I'll be putting that out probably next week. I'm going to try to have a Christmas combo, at least for beginner, intermediate, and advanced, out before Christmas time. So just a heads up, that's coming. And hopefully, well, I'm not going to get into all the music issues, but hopefully I can post it. We'll put it that way. All right, here we go. rhythm just go down. We'll restart that and then roll it again. Come on. Here we go. And 5, 6, 7. Gross. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Those bomber chays, yeah? Welcome, Sharon. 64-year-old beginner. That's awesome. I love it. Fantastic. Graciela, 42-year-old intermediate. Good. We got all ages. That's fantastic. I've worked with 2-year-olds up to 80, 81, somewhere around there. So that's one of the cool things about TAP. It's like the full span of age. Like you do it at any age. Any age. Now, granted, if you're 80, you're probably not going to be jumping around as crazy as I am. Probably be a little bit more calm, but otherwise it should be good. Why don't we do across the floor? We'll keep it. Here's what I do. The initial version I'll do as more beginner, and then I'll like sneak in harder and harder options so we can kind of build it up as you want. So all we're going to do is collab, stamp, collab, stamp. Grapevine, grapevine, collapse, stamp, toe, heel, toe. That's it. Short and sweet. I do like it. 6, 7, 8. Collapse, stamp, grapevine, grapevine, collapse, stamp, toe, heel, toe. And collapse, stamp, grapevine. I know you're probably running out of room. Collapse, stamp, toe, heel, toe. You can do it more or less in place, like if I had to do it here. Collapse, stamp, grapevine, grapevine. Then I'll move the collapse stamp back over, toe, heel, toe. Pardon me, we'll roll that again. Deanne, love that you include us in your practice sessions. Thank you. You're welcome, Deanne. Although this broadcast right now that I'm calling Live at 11 is not. It's not primarily a practice session. Like I used to do, just pretty much a straight practice session, but occasionally I would take questions and chat a little bit. What I've been trying to do with Live at 11 is reformat it, ideally to have as much Q&A as possible, because that tends to be interesting and fun for me, and interesting and fun for people watching as well. So the idea is to do some Q&A, to do a little tech spotlight like we did earlier we did that with Bomberger. So each one I'll pick a step. And I'll say, here's some common problems, and here are some approaches to fix that. Then we'll do, it's not really a full practice session. I mean, that was obviously not a very long practice session. But just kind of like a short, I guess you'd call it a really short practice session, just to kind of get moving. And then usually that'll be it, but some days like today, I'm like, yeah, let's do it across the floor. So it's kind of an open format, but we'll see how it evolves. There will be no Live at 11 tomorrow. And I'm going to say no, not tomorrow, because that's Thanksgiving in the States, and then not Friday as well. So tomorrow and Friday, no Live at 11. I will plan on doing it on resuming at Monday. I'll be shooting for 11 every day. I'm thinking instead of posting when I'm going to do it, I think I'll post either to Facebook. You can go to the United Taps Facebook page, or Twitter, United Taps on Twitter. I'll post, if I'm not going to do the Live at 11, then I'll post. I'll post on social media saying, hey, I'm not doing Live at 11 today. But otherwise, assume I'm doing Live at 11. Now, if you're watching this, and this is already, weeks have gone by, you might want to check in, because I might not be doing Live at 11 anymore. We'll see. We'll see how it all evolves. It's very much in beta. We're just testing this out and seeing how this works for me and for the audience and everyone. We'll see. All right, so back to what we're doing. We're doing collapse, stamp, grapevine, grapevine, lap, stamp the lap, stamp, toe, heel, toe. The lap, stamp the lap, stamp, grapevine, grapevine. The lap, stamp, toe, heel, toe. Awesome. Now, if you want something a little more tricky, we can add a heel to the flap. The lap, heel, stamp, grapevine, grapevine. The lap, heel, stamp, toe, heel, toe. The lap, heel, stamp, grapevine, grapevine. The lap, heel, stamp, toe, heel, toe. If you need a little bit more, the lap, heel, stamp, grapevine, grapevine, heel. The lap, heel, stamp, toe, heel, heel, toe. The lap, heel, stamp, grapevine, grapevine, heel. The lap, heel, stamp, toe, heel, heel, toe. What's that you need more? No worries. The lap, heel, stamp, that's left heel going first. The lap, heel, stamp, grapevine, grapevine, heel, heel. The lap, heel, stamp, toe, heel, heel, toe. The lap, heel, stamp, grapevine, grapevine, heel, heel. The lap, heel, stamp, toe, heel, heel, toe. That's good. I can keep going, but I think we're good. I'll do a round of the regular one. I'll do a round plus I'll kind of build up. I've forgotten what all the different levels are. So I'll just go from regular up to the harder version here. I think I have just the song. We'll find out here real fast.
Excuse me, you say?
Yeah, go ahead. Come on, it's all good.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Are you right? She said,
It's on the
you want to try? No. So I have to use the lion. For the four, top four. Clean on the one room thing for the floor. For the wood dryer, one of the wood, and the other thing she left is for the wood. Okay, for the wood.
Me too.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
All right, my friends, sorry about that. Let's roll it again. 5, 6, there we go. A little slow. I'll speed it up again. Let's hear focus right. All right, my friends, that's a little slow. Let's speed that up here. Let's do one more regular down to the hard round. 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Put the heel. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Heel. Get a little snack in there. And 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, my friends, fantastic. It's like Windows Update, not today, my friend. Not right now. Let's do that later. All right. Any final questions, comments, suggestions, anything like that? Hopefully that's across the floor and was fun for you. There's a little option. If you would like, if I do something like the across the floor and you like it, put that in the comments or put that in the chat. So I know, like it's like I said, this is the early stages. If everybody's like, we want more across the floor and less tech tips, great. Then I'll drop the tech tips and we'll do more across the floor or something like that. The other thing we probably won't do is like a full scale combo, just because I'm happy to give away some stuff for free, but if I'm doing like full-scale combos every day, that's like a lot of content. It's a lot of content to do and a lot of content to give it away for free. And I try to get a balance and do some free material and then obviously have some paid material so that I can afford to do this, right? So if you have any suggestions, comments, and whatnot, feel free to put that in the comments. The stuff that you like, you can put the stuff, hey, I want more of this, and I want less of this, or it's great the way it is, however you want to do it. All right, thank you guys so much for tapping with me. This was Live at 11. I, of course, am Ron Howe from UnitedTaps.com. UnitedTaps.com, now that's we have a new domain name. There's UnitedTaps.com and UnitedTaps.com. All right, I, of course, am Ron Howe, hopefully from UnitedTaps.com, making you happier and healthier through tap dance. All right. Wow, that was crazy. All right, Graciela, shuffle steps across the floor. All right, excellent. I'll put that in my notes section. Do you just want like straight shuffle steps, like does 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, 5 and the 6 and the 7 and the 8? Are you thinking more like 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, 5 and 6 and 7, 8, 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, 5 and 7, 8, something like that, like in the context of a combo. I'm guessing. Well, I don't know what you want. I think for most people, though, for most of the audience, the combo will probably be slightly more interesting. But I mean, we do straight shuffle steps across the floor. So let me know which one you're after. If it's just straight tech, I mean, we could do straight tech. That's nothing. Like, I can be like, okay, we're hitting cramp rolls today. Let's go slow. This is what you're listening for. This is what you want to hear. And then go faster. Actually, would be more effective if I do one and hold, you do one, so that you can compare your sounds. So like I go dun 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 da. I go dun dun dun. Then we can work our speed up, and then we can do doubles, work our speed up, triples, work our speed up, and so on and so forth. So we could do that like basic, like individual step practicing versus just like the kind of warm up style practice session I do, where I just kind of do like short little patterns of different steps. We could do like just straight up step tech. I want ideas for my adult beginner. So then this would be, like one and so hopefully that, so Graciela, what I'm doing for this, 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 boom. Like that would probably work out nicely. So hopefully this might be usable. Boom, 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 boom. Hopefully that's something that's usable. But having said that, I will have I said this like 6 months ago, but it is going to happen. I will be releasing a full across the floor combination pack. It's 30 across the floor combinations, but really it's 60 because it's at the beginner level. It's a 32 count combination across the floor, and I have like a regular version, and then I have a harder version. Very much like what I did. Like there was this one, and then there was the hard one with the heel. That's what these will be. There'll be a regular one, and then there'll be a harder option that spices things up for the students who get it quicker. That I'm hoping to have that out in December, before Christmas time. Offer that. That'll be across the floor combination series. So that is coming, and those are already filmed. That's just setting up the product and the product page and whatnot, which I've got a couple of things I've got to take care of before I do that. I'm also currently filming an advanced beginner across the floor series. I'm only on, today I filmed number 4 or number 5. So I've got another 20, 25 or 26 to go. I've got a lot to go. But there will be an advanced beginner across the floor series, the same concept. And here's what I'm doing for this series. What I already did for the beginner, and I'm doing this for the advanced beginner. I will have a student version, so someone who's a beginner who was learning these, where I teach it slow. Then I will have a teacher version where I teach it much, much faster, because often if you're a teacher, especially for beginning level stuff, you learn really fast. You don't want to learn it at the beginner speed. You want to learn it at your speed. because you're just learning it to teach it. So I will have a teacher version that teaches it much faster. And aside from that, I will have just a run through. If you don't even want to have me do the breakdown, if you're like, okay, I've got the notes, and there will be notes for everything with counts. If you're like, I just want to see the combination, I will have like, here's just the run through. So you can just watch the run through. Okay, I got this. So I'm trying, that's one of my goals with the new products that I release is to have student and teacher versions. I don't know if I'll do that for like full length choreography. That might get pretty tricky. But for now, for these across the floor combinations, that's what I'm doing. Student version, teacher version, and then just run through. And the cool thing about the run through, what often happens is students, after they learn it, they're like, I just want to run through it now. Like, I don't want to have to go through the learning process again. So that's why I've got the run throughs, that they can just do it along with the run throughs. So if you're a student, the run throughs can work for you as well. So that is all stuff that is coming. So excited for the teacher version. All right, thank you. The Dance Dreamer, she says, I'm so excited for the teacher version. Yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, so that's all coming. All right, and that's all coming in the pipeline. I'm working on it. I've got some other things I've got to fix and adjust first. Plus, I'm trying to do choreography and all these other things. Oh, by the way, I do custom choreography. If you're wondering why does it take so long to release new material, well, there's several reasons for that. Number one is basically starting in late July, usually up through December. I am hammered with custom choreography, and so what it is anyone can just email me and say, hey, I've got a group, I've got an intermediate group I need a competition dance for, I really like this song, and you can even be like, in one case they were like, I want to use golf clubs, or I want to use a box, or I want to use a hat, whatever, can you choreograph a dance on video and send it? The great thing about doing it on video, there's a couple things. Number one, you don't have to fly me out. Like, it's really expensive to fly someone out to your studio and pay for airfare and food and hotel and the choreography on top of that. Like, that's expensive. And trying to schedule when can I get all the kids together at the same time, and that works out when the choreographer can come. Like, trying to schedule that is not easy. So the cool thing is when you do it on video, there's no airfare, there's no food, there's no hotel, and there's no crazy scheduling. It's like whenever it works for you for the kids. Like, if it's your normal time, that's great. So I film the choreography, and I break it down slow, and I do it with the music. And the way we do it is I'll do it in short chunks. I'll do like, here's the first 30 seconds and send that out to you via download. So you can download it and you can look at it. You right away after the first 30 seconds, you can be like, yeah, you're on the right track. Just keep going. This is great. Or you can be like, whoa, not what I had in mind. I'm thinking more of this. And I say, okay, that's fine. Let me rework it. So I'll rework that 30 seconds, bring it back. This way, you're not like paying and then like just praying you get what you want. Because I do it in small chunks, we can make sure that you're getting what you want. Then once you're good with that, I'll do like usually a next 30-second chunk. Sometimes it's 45 seconds, and I'll send that next chunk. The other thing that this is helpful for, you don't have to wait till it's all done. You can be getting it as I get it, so you can start teaching usually right away. So that's custom choreography that I do by video. I get, like I said, from late July through December. I'm just getting hammered. So that's one of the reasons, like, I hardly ever release new material on United Taps during this time, is because I'm just trying to keep up with all that choreography, plus the normal classes that I teach at my local studios, plus choreography for those local studios, because they do competitions and stuff too. So I'm like I said, I'm just getting hammered. Not to mention there are always like 100 behind the scenes problems and business things and website things that I am trying to adjust, improve, or fix, and those take an insane amount of time. Like I've told people this before, for like every hour I spend in front of the camera, there's like 10 hours off camera work. So it's really, really lopsided. So you're like, well, why doesn't he just release stuff all the time? Well, that's why. And plus, I try to do the live at 11, and I try to put out like free combos and stuff somewhat regularly to keep people's interest and to just have stuff for people to do. So there's a lot going on. But if you're interested in the custom choreography, you can just email me, rod@unitedtaps.com, and let me know. Okay, I have 3 people who want solos. Here are their levels. Here's some songs I like, and I can do the editing, the music editing as well for a pretty reasonable fee. It's not very expensive. I can do that all. I can do that for you and take that off your plate and do it by video. And we send it. The great thing about the video is that now some teachers want to share it with the students and some don't, but if you don't mind, it's really great because you can be like, here's a link to the video, kids. So after we're done, like you can go practice it. He breaks it down. Like there's no reason not to know the choreography. Like you've got it like on video. It's great. And it's great for you too. I know when you choreograph, like a lot of times depends on if you have a weekly class, but sometimes like the one studio I'm at now, it's like we'll do a weekend and then we might not do another weekend for another month. And so it's like, unless I videoed and write it down, it's like, well, what did I do? Well, this way you got it all on video, and so you don't have to worry. You're like, oh, I've got the video. Here's exactly what it is. It's the breakdown. We're good to go. So I do that as well. That's custom choreography at UnitedTaps.com. Something else was, what got me started on that? I don't know. So that we do offer that. I was talking about why I'm not releasing content. I think we've covered why it takes me so long to release content. What I'm hoping is going to happen is that I'm going to fix a lot of the back end stuff with United Taps. Like I've been fixing a lot of the website and all kinds of business stuff on the back end. I'm hoping to wrap up all that in the next month or so. And so then I can focus more on releasing new material. Did we talk about, I think, no, we didn't talk about. We've got, for teachers, we've got a huge, I call it the Complete 315 Tap Dance Dictionary and Syllabus. It's video breakdowns of 315 tap steps. It's also 2 sets of notes. One set of notes has all the steps in alphabetical order. So if you're looking for Maxi Ford, you just come down. There's M and there's Maxi Ford. Boom, excellent. And the other set of notes is in syllabus order. So it's like, here's level 1, here's the first thing I teach, the second thing I teach, the third thing I teach, and here's level 2. And everything is in the exact order that I would teach it so that it all makes sense. So you get 2 sets of notes, plus you have the video breakdowns, which is really nice if you just really want to quickly look at a step. Oh, what was that Maxi Ford with the riffle and a pull? Click it right there. Okay, that's how we do it. Excellent. I've got that. Now, in conjunction with that, I have another product called the Practice 315, which are practice exercise combinations for those steps in the Tap Dance Dictionary and Syllabus. They're usually 32 counts long. So it's great. You have the video for here's how to do a cramp roll. Now here's a cramp roll practice exercise combination. So you can practice doing that cramp roll in the context of a combination, because it's great if you can just do straight cramp rolls, but that's not how the real world works. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 7, 8, right? That's how you're really going to use a cramp roll, not just like 4 cramp rolls in a row. So that's what we do with the combinations, and the combinations are level appropriate. So if cramp roll's a level 1 step, we're going to do a level 1 combination. It's going to be pretty easy, 1, 2, 3, 4, shuffle, ball change, shuffle, right? We'll keep it on the simple end, whereas the level 7 one's probably a lot more difficult. So that's our Practice 315, and you can get those as a combination deal. It's called the 315 deal, and you save money. We have pre-made choreography. If you don't want to do custom choreography, which is a little bit more expensive, if you just want a ready-made routine at United Taps, we've got beginner up through advanced, which is really nice. Like if you're a teacher and you're like, oh, what am I doing for recital this year? I've got 20 numbers I have to do. There's no way. Take the tap ones off your plate. Let us do those. A lot of our ready-made choreography has group options. So, half of the dancers do this and half of the dancers do this. So it's not boring to everyone doing the same thing the entire time. And those dances that have that are labeled, they'll be labeled with group options. So you can see that on the website. And we do the arm movements, we do the head movements. And again, that's beginner up through advanced levels. We've got those. That's a choreography at UnitedTaps.com. We've got lesson series. If you're a student, here's how a lot of adults find me. They go to a local studio and they take the tap class there, and very often the people in that tap class have been in that tap class for a while. And so they come in and everyone already knows what's going on, and very often the teacher either doesn't slow anything down or break it down for the new people, or they just don't have a time. They can only do that a little bit. I understand that. That's hard when you've got most of the tap dancers have been dancing for a while and you have one who's never danced before. That's a hard balance for any teacher to get. So in some cases the teacher doesn't want to do it. In some cases the teacher does the best they can, but they have 2 different levels. And it's not always their fault. Like there should be really a beginner adult class and an intermediate adult class and so forth. But very often, because there's not that many adults, they just throw them all together and think, oh, it'll be fine. But if you're that beginner jumping into that class for the first time, guess what? It's not fine. It's not fine when everyone else knows what they're doing and you have literally no clue, and you feel lost and you feel dumb because you're like, well, am I just dumb that I can't get this? Why? What's going on? It's a really bad feeling. So very often, adults will have that experience And then they'll either do one of two things. They'll go to YouTube and be like, is there some kind of video that can help me teach me some of this stuff and catch me up? And that's how they'll find some of my videos. And then go to UnitedTaps.com, or they'll just search on Google for, okay, I'm looking for lessons, whatever, and they'll find me. And the cool thing about our lessons is there are other people who offer beginner tap dance lessons online, but almost always it's like 1 or 2 lessons. It's 1 or 2 hours. And it'll teach you a few things, and that's fine. And those teachers are good, and that's great. But if like you really want to learn the beginner level, there's like 37 steps that you got to know. It's not just like 5 or 10. And not only do you need to know those steps, you need to practice those. And that's one of the things that almost none of the other videos will do, is take you through practicing a step slow and then faster and then faster and then faster. So you need to learn how to do the step. You need to know, like, here's some things to watch out for, and here's how to fix them. You need to actually practice that step. And then you need to be able to put that step in a combination and practice it how you're really going to do that. And that's what we do in our lessons at UnitedTaps.com. So they're very comprehensive. So I'll have the adult student who went to the class was totally lost. They'll come back and they'll do my beginner series, and they'll go back to the class and they'll be like, wow, it's a lot better. It may not be perfect, but at least I have some better idea of what's going on now, and I can pick up faster, and I notice my speed is improving and my balance is improving and things like that. So our video lessons can be very helpful if you're taking a live class. In some cases, I even had one person who was like, what did they do? I don't know, might have done I think they took no live classes. They just did my beginner, advanced beginner, and intermediate or something like that. And they went to a studio and they slotted right in. They were like, oh, you're right, you're ready for intermediate level, which is great. Now, having said that, there are a lot of people who do my lessons, and there is a full spectrum. I have had people do my lessons, and then they'll send me a video, and they're honestly it's not that good. It's not that, but they're having fun, which is I'm cool with that. They're having fun. And I've had people do my lessons and send me the video, and I'm like, wow, like they nailed it, like they hit everything. So part of how beneficial are online video lessons. A lot of it is how detail-oriented you are. Some people just want to have fun, and they don't care about the details. They want to move their body and to the music and have fun, and that's totally cool, and that's great, and you can do that. If you're more, and I'm more on the track, like, let's get good. That's just how I'm built. If you're more on that track, the key is just paying super close attention in the lessons, okay? I will tell you, make sure you do this, make sure you don't do this, watch out for this and watch out for this. The people who really absorb that and are extremely present and aware of what their own feet are doing, those are the ones that nail it. They're always analyzing, am I doing what he said? Do I sound right? Does my rhythm match his? Are my sounds clean? That are always checking their own feet and comparing them to my feet on the video. The other thing that those are the people who do well. The other thing that those people very often do, and I get emails very often where they'll say, I do a lesson 3 or 4 times before I move on so that I'm really comfortable and I really have it down. And I'm all for that. I think that's a great idea. Very often, the second time you go through that lesson, you will totally catch stuff you didn't. Or you'll be like, oh, now I get that wave change. Like I intellectually understood what he was talking about, but now I actually can feel it in my body this time. So going through each lesson, that's the great thing about video. You can go through each lesson as much as you want. Or I just want to go through this step on lesson 1 and just this combination on lesson 2. You can pick and choose exactly what you want. You can do as much as you want, which is fantastic. So those people who repeat lessons so they really feel solid about it and that pay very close attention to what their feet are doing, they do, like I said, I've seen some videos from them where I'm like, wow, like they're doing as good, it's better than some of my live students who get me in person every week because they are so tuned into what's happening. So the bottom line is, for the video lessons, you will get as good as in relation to how much effort and how picky you are and how particular you are about how things sound. So they're very beneficial. Those are our lessons. Like I said, they're full lesson series. Like our beginner lesson series is 12 lessons. It's 12 hours of tapping. Our advanced beginner lesson series is 12 lessons. It's like 13 hours. And our intermediate 13. Our intermediate advanced is like 28 hours. It's 18 lessons. And the only reason it's so long is I had to get, I think there's 52 steps in that lessons or something like this, or that series. there's a lot of steps. And I'm like, either I'm going to have 3-hour lessons or I got to do more lessons. And even doing 18 lessons, a lot of the lessons are well over an hour. But it's like, well, I've got to get the content in. I can't skip the steps, or what's the point? So those are our lesson series at UnitedTaps.com. So we've got all that great content. Sharon says, I am trying to learn shuffle. Yeah, so I teach the shuffle slow with a straight rhythm style. Shuffle, shuffle, with a brush and a spank. Commonly, it's taught brush and spank, but with swing rhythm, like rhythmically like this. And there's a lot of good reasons for that. And there's another approach completely different from mine, which is like a dropping of the knee and a drop and lift of the knee versus the swing out and in. And I've gone over this in previous Live at 11 episodes. There are advantages and disadvantages to that. My thing is with going back to the rhythm. Yes, shuffle is another word for swing. Like shuffle rhythm basically means swing rhythm. Thus the name shuffle, right? The thing I found though is if I teach students to shuffle like this, they're going to get that pretty quick. And if I reinforce that week after week, when I go to put the shuffle with a shuffle step and I want a straight rhythm, if they've been practicing this, then I get this. And it's really, once this is programmed in, it is really hard to break that habit and do the straight rhythm. Like as a tap dancer, you should be able to do both. You should be able to do straight, straight rhythm for these. Or let's say we're doing shuffle ball change and you want to do a swing, and swing, and swing. You really should be able to do both. But if you train swing and then you do that for a decent amount of time and you try to switch over, I've had students who for years trained swing with other teachers and they got to me and no matter what I did, I could not get them to go straight rhythm. I couldn't do it. And I tried everything. We would go slow, everything. But as soon as they went faster again, they'd go right back to swing. It is hard once you've trained your leg to just jerk like that. It is hard to go back and control it when it's necessary. I find it's way easier to learn the even style first, the straight rhythm, and then later say, okay, now I want you to snap it. Because the snapping is pretty natural and pretty easy. That's just my experience with shuffles. But we can maybe we'll talk about, I know I've done shuffles before, but maybe we'll do a little bit of shuffles again next time because I got to wrap this up. I was like, I did the whole ending and then it just kept going. So it's fine. I'll release. I know these live ones that we've got the lines and I've got to try to figure out how to fix that. And I have a feeling it's the LEDs and those are just too expensive to replace. So I'm not going to replace those. I thought about getting a new webcam. And I might try a new webcam, but I don't, honestly, in my gut, I don't think it's the webcam. Or it's a combination of the webcam and the LEDs. But the webcam's cheaper than the LED. Like I said, I can't afford to replace the LEDs. Those were expensive. That was a big jump for me because I was using, at first I used regular light bulbs. Then I switched everything to CFLs. And of course, the problem with the CFLs is when they break, then there's like mercury and as a whole that's not good. And not that I break them all the time, but occasionally they would break and that was not great. So I finally around I think it was September I finally got rid of all the CFLs and now we have LEDs, which is very exciting except for that like strobe effect that you get on the video where you get the dark line, light line, dark line, light line. And here's the crazy thing, some videos I've shot with the same webcam don't have that. And I'm like, what is the difference? Like what little something was different and I haven't been able to figure that out. All right, so now I'm gonna end it for real. Thank you all for watching. I'm not gonna say UnitedTaps.com today. I'm of course Ron Howell from UnitedTaps.com, where we're making you happier and healthier through tap dance. All right. Well, who does? I've just like twice I've done that where I end it and then I just kept going. Thank you all. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving. Like I said, no Live at 11 tomorrow and no Live at 11 on Friday. I will see you all again Monday. Again, if possible, put questions, suggestions, anything in the chat. And if you can do that, like as soon as you sign on, like have them ready to go. Even even if it's not a question you have, or you think a question you think someone else might have, or you've heard someone else ask before, or something like that, because it's just really helpful to me. It's helped me to have like something to play off of, versus just all. I mean, I can just make it all up, but it's more fun. All right, thank you all, and take care. Happy Thanksgiving.